and welcome to today's podcast. Today, we are thrilled to welcome an expert in eye care who will help us explore a condition that affects millions, which is dry eyes. So, if you've been experiencing discomfort in your eyes, like burning or stinging, you might be dealing with something called dry eyes disease. So, today, we are going to take a deeper look into what dry eyes disease is. Doctor, can you please start by explaining what dry eyes are?
I think it is a wonderful question, and I feel it is the need of the hour because dry eye is going on increasing by multifold. Reason being, the things have completely shifted from who we used to be in the beginning to what we are now. So basically, dry eye is a condition where enough tears are not produced by the tear gland or they get evaporated. Okay, so these are the two conditions in which dry eye can occur. So one is aqueous deficient, which is when the tears are not produced properly, and other is evaporative, where tears, the glands is functioning properly and the tears are being produced, but they get evaporated by the environmental factors.
Experience dry eyes after surgery. Why is this so common, especially after procedures like LASIK or cataract surgery?
So again, a very good question and a very relevant question. So first thing first, in our pre-operative examination, when we are taking the patient for the surgery, we should have a thorough dry eye examination, whether it is a cataract surgery or it is a LASIK surgery. So let me start with LASIK. Why it causes dry eye? Because in LASIK we make a flap, right? So when we make a flap into the cornea, the corneal nerves get cut. So corneal nerves are the one which carry the sensation for the eyes, right? And when your sensation is disturbed, if there is a foreign body coming, or if there is a blast of air, or even the vent of the AC putting the air into your eye, the nerves are not that responsive, right? The nerves have got cut, and that is the reason that LASIK causes dry eye. There is a recovery with the advanced lubricants and the dry eye management which we have, but it is not 100%, right? So that is there. In cataract also, nowadays the things have changed quite a lot because there are very small incisions which we make for the cataract surgery, but it has also been documented the LED lights from the microscope can cause dry eye. So then there are patients after cataract surgery who complain of stinging, burning sensations and everything. But then we feel, oh, the patient is reading 6/6, the patient is doing so well, still the patient has complaints. So most of the times we should address to such complaints until and unless the patient is malingering, right? So now with the advances, what changes we have done in our practice is that I have included a lubricant to all my post-cataract patients also.
But so, if someone is getting LASIK, are there any ways to manage the risk of dry eyes beforehand?
No, I'm proud to say that in India also now we have such good molecules available. Initially, when we used to take lectures in conferences, we used to say, oh, this is there, but it is not available in India. Now, in the sense, cyclosporin is there since years together. We have lifitegrast, which was not available in India, and it has been made available in India at a very, very affordable cost, which is extremely important. So, patients staying in UK, USA, they have to pay a bomb amount of money to get the same molecule, whereas we Indians are lucky enough to get it in such a good cost. Then there is a tablet which is extract of makai berry. So that is also, it controls the inflammatory mediators in our eye, right? So that is the whole cause of dry eye. Inflammation is the main cause of dry eye. So all these agents which I spoke about, like cyclosporin, lifitegrast, makai berry extract, and even for that matter omega-3 fatty acid, helps us control the dry eye pre-operative and post-operative both. There was a lot of role of omega-3 fatty acid initially, but then a study came which said that if it is beneficial in dry eye, it has to be given in a very high amount. So it has to be given like 2000 milligrams per day. So that comes to like 4 capsules, which is not practically possible for every patient to take. Along with these anti-inflammatory molecules, we have amazing lubricants available in the market, and so many companies are coming up with newer molecules like taurine, actoin, and Trehalose, sodium hyaluronate. So now we are not only left with EMC or HPMC. We have huge range of lubricants available in the market, which not only helps us symptomatic relief but also helps us to treat the dry eye.
LASIK. What about other surgeries like cataract surgery? Can dry eyes be an issue after that as well?
Can be an issue, and like cataract we have to understand is a mostly an age related problem. Doesn't mean that it cannot affect young people, but majority of people are old aged. So in cataract what happens is our meibomian glands are already not functioning very properly because of the atrophic changes. As our whole body ages, so does our eye, and so are the glands which produce tears. So there's already a pre-damage which is there with such patients. And that is why I told you that it is extremely important to examine each and every patient pre-operatively thoroughly, so that the patients don't have complaints later on. Like a very small tip which I learned some 14-15 years back, and which I've made sure that I follow it in every patient of mine, is seeing the lids. I evert the lid in every patient, because if you don't do that, you're gonna miss on multiple things. Your patient has come with some complaint and you don't see the lids, you're definitely gonna miss on something. So as a good doctor, your examination should start from the eyelid, eyelashes, and it should go till the retina. Then only your examination is complete. So there are pre-existing factors which are already there in cataract patients, and they need to be addressed. As I said, similar to LASIK patients, we have to see the severity and treat accordingly.
So, doctor, what are some key things patients should do post surgery to avoid or manage dry eyes?
So I think there are a lot of factors which matter, like age of the patient, his or her systemic status, like thyroid, PCOS, environmental factors, that patient belongs to which area. Right? If you're in dry, deserted area like Dubai, Rajasthan, and all, where it is too much of heat, so there is no humidity in the atmosphere. Then, if you're in a normal place, but you are inside your office 24 hours using AC, air conditioning. So air conditioner is itself a dehumidifier. So it will takes away all the humidity from the room, and when it takes away the humidity from the room, your eyes, your hair, your skin, everything dries away. So AC is a convenient thing which does not make much noise, and you don't have to fill water and all, but it is not a good thing for our health. So there's a very small suggestion which you can do. I mean, if everybody is using AC, you can keep a bowl of water into the room, so the evaporation of water is occurring from that bowl and not that much from your atmosphere. Also, if you're using AC, you can use humidifiers. Now, we are living in the era of machines, so humidifiers are also available. So if you use a humidifier, you can prevent that problem. If systemic status is there, that needs to be taken care of properly. Agar aapka thyroid mein what is the problem, that needs to be treated accordingly. Yeah, people who have frequent air travels, because there's very less humidity in the aircraft. See, you operate everybody. It's not that you operate one kind of a profession. So people who travel a lot into aircraft for their business, or air hostesses or anything, they should be more cautious regarding the dry eye, because it's their profession. They are constantly exposed to dehumidified air. So even if a small tip which not many people know, if you're doing a international travel or a long air travel, it's always good to carry a lubricant with you, so that your eyes don't dry up. You can use it between the flights.
That was some wonderful tips, ma'am. Apart from this, anything else patients should keep in mind to prevent dry eyes disease after surgery?
So it's not only after surgery. What we have to understand is that tears have antibacterial property. We are blessed. God has made our body in such a form that it's a very robust system, right? So tears are themselves antibacterial. The content of tears prevents us from having any kind of infection. So dry eye is not a very simple thing जिसको हम बहुत easy ले लें, and we don't take care of that, because like you have the itchy skin during winters, right? So till the time you don't moisturize your skin, you feel very grittiness, that stinging sensation in your skin also. Same is the case with your eyes. If the tears are less into your eyes, you're more prone to inflammation and infection both, because inflammation is the key thing for dry eye. So then that sets in a vicious cycle. वो cycle की पहिए की तरह it goes on rotating, because dry eye inflammation. And also you should take care that you're not supposed to rub your eyes. When you rub your eyes, the inflammatory mediators get released more and more. That also has to be understood, that you are not supposed to rub your eyes. I hope it was helpful.
Thank you so much for sharing this wonderful knowledge with us on dry eyes. We truly appreciate your time and insights. So that's all for today's episode on dry eyes. We hope this episode helped you to understand it better. Thank you, ma'am.